We're going to get this thing started. And the first person that's going to join me on this stage is somebody who probably is one of the biggest influencers of who we are as Beachbody. Her and her organization helped make our culture. They have been phenomenal. She is an incredible leader. She is one, not a founding coach, but an early coach and one of our true leaders. This coach has more superstar diamonds in her organization than any coach in the business. She has enrolled more than 635 coaches. 62 of those are diamond. She's been in Success Club 66 months in a row. She's a Success Club 10 legend. She's a 6-time elite coach, and she's just a really cool person. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Dwyer.
After 1 month of getting my dream job, I got a phone call from the owner telling me, "You're cold, you're harsh, and you're gonna go on probation for 3 months." And I'm like, have you ever wanted something so bad, like a position that you wanted so bad, whether it be being a manager of your job or just being the captain of the team, and you didn't get it? But then when you didn't get it, you also then got a laundry list of why you weren't great at it. That's what I got. In 2000, I was living in Buffalo, New York at the time. Yes, New York people. And I really wanted to be famous in fitness. That was my goal. I was a group fitness instructor, and I was like, I really want to be famous in fitness. I wanted to have my own video line. I wanted it all. I actually self-created my own video line on VHS. Yes, I did. I really wanted to be famous. And I came across a woman that was online on a message board, and she was advertising to work for her company. And I was like, sure, I'll do that. I don't know what this is about. What is that turbo kick thing? I don't know. So I applied, I got accepted, and then I got the home study for it, and I started to teach it. And I was like, what? This sucks. This really sucks. What's this siren about? I'm watching the VHS tape and the little cassette tapes, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. This is never going to work in the gym. But I really want to be famous, so I'm going to teach it. So I started teaching it. And when I started teaching it, I told my classes, I said, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. We'll just go back to what we were doing before. But I want to go work for this company. I want to represent this product that I don't like. That's what I wanted to do. So I flew out to California, and I went to the audition camp with Chalene Johnson. And that's where I was involved with her company, Powder Blue Productions, Turbo Kick. And that was my binder, which I still have to this day, 15 years old. The binder that I walked into the room to say, you're starting your training. Thankfully, I got accepted because I have no idea why. I didn't know anything about the format, the workout, the culture, the people, the rounds. I didn't know anything about it, but I just saw it as an opportunity to propel myself. So, you know what? I got so excited because I was like, oh, so they don't have Turbo Kick on the East Coast yet? I'm going to be that innovator that goes and crushes it. I'm going to schedule a ton of events all down the East Coast, and I'm going to be that person that brings it to the East Coast. That's what my goal was. So I got on the plane, and I sat there on the plane. I took out a map because I always carried maps with me. I'm a very visual person. And I would pull the map out, and I started to plot down the cities I was going to schedule events. Buffalo, New York, Syracuse, New York, Newark, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Charlotte, North Carolina. I started plotting every city. And then I got home, and I started calling clubs going, will you host this event? Will you host this event? Will you host this event? And finally, people go, sure. I don't know what it is, but sure, we'll host it. Because they always want free stuff. That's why they hosted. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had all these events booked up on the whole East Coast. And then I had to call to these clubs to promote. So I was constantly calling more clubs, promoting this product that I really didn't know much about. But I really wanted these events to go so I could be fitness famous. And so I was calling and trying to promote these clubs. And then these events, one by one, started to cancel and cancel and cancel. Before I knew it, I had over 6, 7 events canceled in that first month because I scheduled so much and didn't know much about the product. So then I got a phone call from my manager, Ann Shalene Johnson. I was like, oh my gosh, they must be calling me because they think I'm great because I'm promoting their company so much and I'm really doing a great job for them. I was really excited for the call. Then she started to tell me, when you speak to people on the phone, you're very cold. You're very harsh. You really should consider smiling while talking in a mirror when you're on the phone. Is this her smile? I could just imagine her doing that. But you're on probation for 3 months. You can't do anything. You can't even build anymore. We just need to put you on hold. I was crushed. I hung up that phone, and I stormed through my apartment going, who does she think she is? I am working my butt off, promoting her company, trying to make her more money. I'm a freaking cheerleader on that phone. She's from California. She just doesn't know how New Yorkers talk. That's what I thought. I was very defensive. I was very argumentative, defensive, and I was like, I don't need this. But then some time passed, and I was like, 2 people are telling me this. They don't need to tell me this. I don't need to be groomed by them. I was already failing to them, so why would they even want to make me be successful? It must be true. I must sound like that. And I really didn't realize that until I actually allowed myself to become vulnerable and open to constructive criticism. Not until you can do that for yourself can you allow success to happen in your life. You can't force yourself to be successful. You have to grow personally and as a leader. That was the biggest point in my growing, to try to figure out that I gotta fix me. There's a lot going on here that's wrong, and it takes years. But thankfully, I actually moved on with her company, and it became a full-time employee, salary, and I actually got to become the national promotions director for the company, and I managed, and I personally trained all of the presenters that would become her representation for her company and the livelihood of her company. I was the person responsible for that. And then, crazy enough, I then achieved Presenter of the Year, the first award they ever gave out. And then I achieved 2 other times Most Valuable Presenter of the Year. And then I also hold the record in the company for having the highest amount of sales and also holding the record for certifying the most amount of people in their formats. How did that change? When I was coming from this cold, harsh girl to now flipping it. What did I fix? Where was I going wrong? The first point that I was going wrong, the most critical point, was it was all about me. I wanted to be fitness famous, so I was just focusing on me. I didn't care about the product or the company or someone's life. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to become known. I was forcing that. That was the first problem. The second was I was using cold marketing techniques. That's it. I started to really focus on the wrong ways to be able to share an opportunity for someone to be able to change what they're doing or help them change their life. That's where I was going wrong. And not until I could fix that, I had to really first work on, again, myself, opening myself up to being criticized and being okay with that and accepting it and not defending it. Take it. The second was to really focus on growing myself personally as a leader. How can I be a better communicator? How can I inspire someone to want to be more, to believe more in themselves if I'm not personally working on myself with that? And then the third is to really find that it's not about the product. It's not Turbo Kick that I'm trying to promote. It's not me, it's not Turbo Kick. I was focusing on the wrong areas. I really need to focus on what can having these formats do in that person's life. And not until I really could paint the vision for someone when they start to bring this into their world of how they can be able to change their life and make it easier by doing this as well. So this is the thing, is so many times we really focus on being a product of the product, of course, but we hide behind the products. We're hiding behind these labels of Shakeology, of size, of 21-day fix, or the coaching opportunity. And that's what we're leading with. Amateurs sell. Amateurs lead with the products. Pros lead with the transformation, the vision of what someone can do in their life, not the products. Because this isn't what people are going to believe in. They're not going to believe in what you have or what you can do. They'll believe in what you believe in. They'll believe in what you believe in, not the products. If we take that off the table, we have to really focus on making sure that we are not leading with, okay, guess what? Size is out. It's great dance moves. Get it from me. That's a pretty typical Facebook post. Size is out. These are awesome dance moves. I just did it. Get it from me. Typical. You probably are deleting it right now off your Facebook. What would be a better way about it? Because do people care that size is out if they don't really understand how it's going to change or transform their life? The difference is flipping that. If you really love to just have fun and let loose in your workouts, and you're sick and tired of what you're doing, and you want simple moves to do, I'm going to help support people doing it, so reach out to me. I want to help you in your getting started journey. That's a better way to post it, rather than, get it from me, oh my gosh, I gotta beat that next coach who put that other Facebook post up. Stop hiding behind the products, because that's not what we're doing this for. What are we doing this for? What is your reason why you're doing this? You've probably seen or know this mission statement. This is the company's mission statement. And if we walk into Beachbody headquarters, this is what you're going to see once you get off the elevator. You've seen it before. Do you think that I built my business? So when I joined as a coach 7 years ago, I was 5 months pregnant. I had a 1.5-year-old son. I worked a full-time job for Chalene Johnson's company, Powder Blue Productions, and I had 3 part-time jobs. That's how I started. Do you think I worked up till 3 in the morning because of this mission statement? No. I believe in this mission statement, but that's not my mission statement. That's not what fires me to do 3 in the morning work. That's not it. And my why for being successful, to have the opportunity to have my husband choose if he wants to work in IT anymore or be home, that was what I used to say was my reason why I was going to build this business. But I built my business to the highest level of success when my daughter was 1. So when, in my first 1.5 years of the business, I was able to do that. Not because of this mission statement. This mission statement is in my belly, but it's not my belly. I have my own reasons why, because your why of why you're doing something isn't to get out of debt. Yeah, that could be the reason why you're fighting for it, but is that your personal purpose attached to your why? Is that part of your deep inner set? Because, hey, my husband's not working in IT anymore. Yeah, he's been working with me alongside in Beachbody since 2011. What's my why now? The why is your personal connection of why do you do what you do every day? Why do I do this? It's because I truly, deeply love to help people be able to achieve something they didn't think was possible. I want them to be able to find success, a smidgen of success, a lot of success. And the more I do that, just even starting with one person, that can change their life. I don't need that pat on the back saying, you did it for me. But if I can do that more often, that's why I do what I do. That's why I was up till 3 in the morning. Because this message is not your message. It's in your belly, but you gotta define your personal connection of why you are who you are and why you're going to keep doing what you do. Because you're gonna achieve your goal, right? Hopefully. Okay. We really like to be connected with other people who are like us. This is actually my house that I grew up in. And I was so disappointed because we just went back to New York. We now live in Dallas, Texas. Any Texans in the house? Okay, good. Cool. So we just went back to New York, and I brought my kids to my hometown, Sequoia, New York, which is a very small town. Graduated 91 people. But I was so disappointed because my dad painted our house from when I lived in it, and it now looks better. I know. It was a lot worse. One side of the house was brown, and then the rest of the house was chipped off white. That's what our house used to be. But I was so embarrassed. I was the youngest of 4 girls. My dad was raising us. He was very emotionally and physically abusive. There was no love in our house. It was survival. I didn't get any appreciation. You didn't get happy birthday. It was a matter of fend for yourself, figure it out, just work. My dad was a blue-collar guy, worker. That's all he knew. That's all he came from. And so for me, being the youngest of 4 girls, and I was not the cutest of my sisters, I was the chubby girl. And I wasn't the one picked first for games and all, but I was always trying to fit in. I just really wanted to fit in. We all just want to fit in. Isn't that why you live where you do? Why you chose where you're going to put your house? Or why you're hanging out with your friends? Or why you obsessively and hurriedly went and bought out cowboy boots because you were coming to Nashville? Right? I really stressed about that. I was like, oh my gosh, should I bring my cowboy boots? Everybody's bringing their cowboy boots. They're buying them. Should I bring my cowboy boots? Am I going to be the only one not wearing cowboy boots? John, are you bringing your cowboy boots? Like I had to make sure I was going to be okay not bringing my boots. Because we all just like to fit in, feel accepted, and feel like we're all on the same path and mission and that we're supporting each other. So when I was growing up and I was coming from this volatile situation where there was no love, there was no appreciation, there was only abuse from my sisters and from my father, there was no support. We didn't have much money. We didn't have heat in the New York winter. When it came time for school clothes, everybody was out getting new school clothes. They'd get a new outfit for every day of the week. And I would go to the church donation pile up in the attic and take those clothes for my new clothes that year. We didn't have any opportunity. And so all I couldn't control this because this embarrassed me. Do you think other girls would want to come sleep over at my house? I couldn't bring kids home. I was so embarrassed. And I couldn't let them see my angry father. Because who knows what would have happened that night? Who knows? So the only thing I could control was work. And when I got my first jobs as a paper girl, delivering 75 newspapers on a Sunday, if you know Sunday newspapers, they're thick. Going up hills in the winter with a wheelbarrow as quick as I could because I wanted to be the fastest newspaper delivery girl. And that's my goal. And then when I became a dishwasher at the restaurant, I wanted to be the best dishwasher ever because when I did, I got praised. That's where I got, you're doing a good job. So that's what fed me to work well, to have a great work ethic. And what that actually groomed me to have is actually a servant's heart. It really groomed me to do for other people, and I'm grateful for that. All of this, I'm grateful for it. Yeah, it happened. But it's formed me. I wouldn't be me if that didn't happen. That formed my servant's heart. And I brought my kids there because I needed them to see where I came from. I need them to see life is different. You don't just get everything. I need them to appreciate what they have because they're doing pretty well. And I want them to know that. My goal is for my kids to have self-respect, to be kind to other people, to be helpful for other people, to appreciate what they have, to be giving, to be just confident. That's what I'm driving for. That's my goal. That's what I do, that deep-seated passion, because I don't want them to have to feel that embarrassment to bring home a friend. I want them to be able to bring their friends home and be proud of their parents, of where they live and what they have. I want them to be proud. We want to be around other like people. We want people to believe in what we believe. And we have to decide that it's up to us to decide to step forward, to do it. Because it's only us that can make that change. We can't wait for someone else to do it. There's a true story. At a train station, there was a platform full of people lining up waiting for the train to come. And before you knew it, a kid fell on the tracks and a train started to come. This is true. Everyone sat there and went, somebody help, 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 someone, he's on the tracks, get him. What did people do? Stood there and pointed, somebody. And not until a homeless man jumped onto the tracks, lied down on top of the child to cover him, and the train ran over them both, saved that kid's life. Because that one man decided to impact someone's life and save it. That's got to be what you have to feel, that you have that opportunity to dig into the reason why you are who you are, why you do what you do, but that you have the ability to impact one person's life. I joined as a coach 7 years ago. I signed up one person, and 7 years later, over 147,000 coaches in my downline. Starts with one. You have to decide that it's up to you. Bring it into yourself that you have to say personally, somebody is me. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Thanks.